The opinions of the guests and host are their own and do not represent the opinions of Ironclad, the Border Patrol, or the Department of Homeland Security.
What is the biggest, I guess, the most effective way that fentanyl has made its way into America? Is it by body carriers or is it through the border? Do you know?
Well, it's a great question. I mean, again, if you listen to the experts, they say, 90% or whatever the hell they say these days are coming through the port of entry. I would say there's an old saying, you don't know what you don't know. Just like we don't know the 1.8 million gotaways that are in the country. We don't know who they are, where they came from, what they're going to do, what their plan is. We don't know how many shipments of drugs come across the wide open border in between the ports of entry. What we do know is that CBP has done a tremendous job in seizing mass amounts of fentanyl at the POE in these tractor trailers, in these cars, in these hidden compartments. But the traffickers will go to any extreme to feed the beast, right? So in other words, the demand is there, the money's there, so they're going to get the stuff into the country one way or another. They will figure out innovative methods to get it in the country. We have seen significant, there's like 27,000 pounds of fentanyl seized at the border last year, according to CBP statistics. This year, there's over 10,000 already in the 6 months of fentanyl pounds. But anyway, to answer your question, it's coming in by couriers. It's coming in compartments. It's coming in containers. It's coming in on the flights. They're mailing stuff in left and right. They're running stuff in. They're bringing liquid chemicals like liquid meth into the country in gas tanks, and then they're making the conversion labs here in America, like in Atlanta.
Oh, shit.
So, and the cartels, here's another thing that people don't realize. The cartels are sending so many operatives into America to do their business here, like set up these labs, pick up the money, deliver the cash to the Chinese nationals who are now moving the money. And by the way, don't forget that the Chinese nationals that are picking up millions of dollars in cash from drug traffickers, they're buying farmland, strategically positioned by our military installations. They're buying houses. They're converting houses into marijuana grow operations, which are happening now all over the country. And let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, we know they are importing Chinese pesticides. Let me say that again slowly. They are importing pesticides from China. America should be very concerned about pesticides from China. We're concerned about pesticides made in the USA causing cancer. Just imagine what China could be sending in to spray on the marijuana if they want to destabilize and destroy their greatest adversary. So that's another whole story for another day on the marijuana side.
Yeah. So when you say that China is purchasing land and they're also the ones who are money laundering, is that's all proven? Have we seen that?
Yes, 100%. Yes, it's on the internet. There's many, many cases. I talk to the cops routinely about this. So I'll give you an example. One of the schemes that they use is, so they make the deal in Mexico between the Chinese broker and the cartel leader. Let's say they want $500,000 picked up in Chicago, drug money. There will be coded messages that are sent. The couriers in Chicago will arrange a meeting, okay, with prearranged codes. The cartel person will drop off the $500,000 in cash, and the Chinese kid, who's here on a visa in many cases, will pick up a suitcase of cash. They will deliver the cash to the Chinese businessman. Maybe he's a high roller in Las Vegas, as an example, because they use the casinos to launder the money. He will then get on. This is where it's brilliant, Vince. I'm going to show you with this little, graphic here. They'll take their phone. They'll go on the Chinese banking apps. They will move 500 grand from their own account in China to another account in China, and they'll order up $500,000 in consumer goods. The goods will be shipped to Mexico, and the goods will be sold for like 3 million, let's say, in pesos, whatever. So that's how the cartels get paid back in Mexico, because this is a cycle. It's called mirror transactions. It's happening all over America. We've testified about it. It's not some convoluted, like, right-wing crazy conspiracy. It's factual. And by the way, on that note, there was a story that came out, Washington Examiner, I believe. In 1 year time frame, there was $6.1 billion in purchases of real estate and land by Chinese businessmen, and 58% of those transactions were done in cash. Chinese businessmen can't get more than $50,000 a year out of China because they have very strict laws on cash exports. So that's why they want the cash here. So we're allowing them to buy properties, buy land, invest in our country. At the same time, they're facilitating the madness with the cartels. How does that make sense? Does everyone feel good about that? Because I don't.
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack. And, I only asked you if it was proven because for those who are naysayers who are listening, I wanted to make sure that I made that point.
I'm glad you did that, and I like you a lot. I like the way you roll, by the way. So that being said, for those that do have a question, and maybe you're sitting there going, wow, this guy is a little crazy. No, don't ever mistake passion for craziness, okay? I told you I buried my brother. I made it a commitment that when I took over my Special Operations Division, I would never worry about the politics. I'd never worry about what I say. I want to get the facts to the public. I want to help create a safer America. But you could go look online in the Chicago newspaper, as an example. It was well documented, the Chinese money laundering case. They even have the slide that shows the mirror transactions that was used in court as a government exhibit, as the one trafficker picked up $24 million in cash, the Chinese trafficker. So the stories are all over the internet. You just got to do some research. But what I ask everybody that's watching this show to do is start connecting the dots. This is not just a drug crisis. It's not about smoking marijuana, so don't get pissed off when someone's talking about it. It's a poisoning against the country, and we have to get better educated because what we're talking about is impacting everyone. And sorry, but if you're not aware of this, you're not paying attention to really what's going on.
Yeah, there's no family that's immune to this. If you live in America, there's a chance it meets you right at your own doorstep.
Exactly, 100%. And that's really the message. Vince, let me show you this real quick. So I was going to Arizona on a visit, right? So, I'm one of these guys that, takes this stuff really serious. I get motivated easy. So I want to show you this here. I'm going to read you this, the back of this, what was said to me. Derek, please take Alex with you to Arizona. She should have been graduating from Arizona State University this year. She was killed by a single counterfeit oxycodone pill that came across our border. Thank you for everything you're doing. God bless Alex's dad, Matt. Now, reason I show this, it was 3 days before Christmas when this poor girl came home. Yeah, she had a little anxiety. She only took half a pill because she bought this pill on social media, and unfortunately, her mother went to the bedroom and she was dead in the bedroom. This is happening everywhere. This is not made up. That's why many parents now are suing Snapchat, as an example, for facilitating what they say is the death of their kids. It's a very serious matter, and everyone is vulnerable. Every kid is vulnerable. Every parent has to get better, educated. That's why I push the documentary Dead on Arrival. It's 20 minutes long. I'd be watching it if I were you with your kids, your grandkids, your nephews, your nieces. It's 20 minutes, and it's the story of my family friends. Outstanding documentary, and it really, puts it all together for the families so everyone's vulnerable. Stop looking at this as a political issue. It's not.
I love that because that's the hard part is that people want to pull politics into every argument, and it's not. These are American issues. If you live in this country,
yes,
you should be concerned about this.
Right, and that's why I came up several years ago, Vince. I came up with that corny little saying just because I wanted to make it clear. It's not red or blue. It's red, white, and blue. When I get called to go to a rally, I don't ask the person, were you a Democrat, Independent, or Republican? I just go to support them. You look behind me, you look at these kids, they're Democrats, Independents, and Republicans. I don't really care. They're Americans, and that's what I care about.
We cut through the partisan talking points. We're not interested in perpetuating fear. We're interested in seeking truth, hearing what's really going on America's borderland.